If you're waiting for a fresh coat of paint to dry before applying the next one and you don't want to clean the brush, you could stick the brush back in the can, but there's a better way. This is a tip from Don Simon from Bremerton, Washington. And Don recognizes that sometimes you just have to wait a little while before the next coat's going to go on. And if you don't want to clean the brush, which takes a lot of time, and sometimes if it's oil-based paint, you're going to be using paint thinner and other solvents that you don't want to mess with, just putting the brush in a place where it's not going to dry out can really be a handy thing to do. Now what Don used to do was to jam that brush into a plastic bag, but it was a messy, messy thing, and the handle would get paint on it, and the bristles and so forth wouldn't retain their proper shape. So the key to this is to use a Ziploc sandwich bag, the kind that you can reseal. And the way Don does it, he starts by cutting a little V-shaped notch in one of the corners, the one that's away from the Ziploc portion of the bag. And that's where the handle of the brush is going to enter first. We're not jamming the bristles into the bag first. We're going to put the handle of the brush into the bag first. Gently pull that through there, and at the same time, tuck the brush all the way into the corner. You want to make sure that there's some paint on it because we want it to stay moist. Now what you do is you roll it slowly, pressing the air out, and fold it up to the point where you can close that Ziploc seal, and then put a couple of wraps of tape around it. And this brush is going to stay fresh in this bag for the next couple hours while that paint dries and you can put the next coat on. I know there are plenty of purists watching this video right now who insist on cleaning a brush after every usage. And that's nice if you've got the time to do it, and you've got the solvents to do it. But sometimes just getting a couple of hours out of that brush without having to clean it can be a pretty practical way to go. Thanks, Don. Great tip. That's a good idea.